No? Okay. All right. Let me just move my screen, which is not moving. Okay. Can you see my screen? Very nice. So it is about Navre. See a lot of flowers. We see beautiful flowers. So Navre is what? Anybody? Yeah, go ahead one by one.
Spring.
I think it's yeah, I think it's spring.
I
Yeah,
think it's the celebration of spring.
yes, it is a celebration, kind of celebration of spring, and it is basically Kashmiri in Kashmiri calendar or in Kashmiri we say it's onset of New Year's. This is our New Year, as per the lunar calendar, and we call it Navre. Navre means onset of New Year. So it is a happy New Year for us, right? We do like we do Happy New Year every 1st January, but it's a Happy New Year. It's a Kashmiri Happy New Year, right? So it is basically onset of spring or onset or it's a beginning of New Year's for us. Okay. So what do we need to know about it? So when we talk about Navre, like I said, it is a Kashmiri New Year's, right? Okay. And when is it celebrated? If somebody asks you. Now, who remembers if you guys have might joined those classes about the lunar calendar or Kashmiri calendar? Does anybody remember? Right. Remember? Very nice. So when it is celebrated, you guys are now all you've studied the calendar, you've learned it, you can really figure out more easily than I think me or your parents because you learned how what is it exactly and what is each month or each word how they depict in Kashmiri calendar. So it is called Chitid Zun Pach. We are in Zun Pach, right? Remember the calendar? I will show you the calendar again. So when it is Zun Pach, then we say that is the day when we celebrate, that is the month we celebrate the Kashmiri New Year's, the Navre. Okay. And like I think in one of my stories, when I did a storytelling, I told you about different mythological beliefs or legends and stories which we used to like. I'm telling you something when I was little, which I used to, learn from my parents or from my grandparents. So there are so many stories around it, like what is this day and why do we celebrate it? So some stories say that Lord Brahma created the universe on this day. That's some kind of a legend, some kind of story. And the fact finding is basically uh, see I have spent some of my childhood in Kashmir. So what used to happen and this before Navre, before the onset of this New Year's, we had a guruji, like a family guruji. You understand guruji? They are the priests. They are priests, right? Guruji is a priest who performs the puja. Okay, if you have been to temples, you see there are in temples you see the panditjis or gurujis, right? Shilok, you're not. Are you getting it?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So we used to have a kulguru, like Guruji who would know our family, our parents and grandparents. So he used to come one day before this Navre, and what he used to bring is the calendar for the whole year. you know so he used to come and we all the family would sit around him and they would say, okay, can you bring the chai? And it's a chai. So he used to drink the tea and they would say, okay, here is your calendar for this year. So the calendar will say all important festivities or days that based on the Kashmiri or based on the lunar dates. So everybody would look forward for that because we depend on that. We'll say, okay, when is Shilok's birthday or this day? Oh, when is Dimfi's birthday? Then we look in the calendar. So it's all marked. For the family, he would know when I was born, yeah, my sister was born, my parents. So he will just mark it in the calendar. And the most important part was we would say, like my parents would say, okay, is there any auspicious day? You can tell us, Guruji, because we have to, we want to, go somewhere or we are planning a marriage of our cousin. Is there a good day? So he would sit and he would again, okay, and it's a chai. He would just drink tea. And then we had to bring tea for him. And then he would go on the calendar and he would just mark some good days for us. So it was such a festive environment. Like it was a big deal, you know. And then we would insist to him, okay, now nahi, aap khana kha ke jao, bat khet nahi rahe. And so then he will sit and we will prepare a lot of good dishes for him and he will eat. So I would just wonder, why is he, how can he find out every good date on the calendar? Because I didn't know the calendar, I didn't know how to read it. So I would just sit and watch why my parents are like, just around him, bringing tea for him, bringing nice food for him. What is so special? And how can you just open some, like a book, and just tell us, okay, this is the date. Acha, Nymphi Tashi Vorvod, Parson is your birthday. Now celebrate. Then he would again come on the birthday. And again, we have to treat him with, you know, good food and chai, always chai. So it was so much fun. But for me, I would always wonder, how would he, who makes these calendars? How would he know? I wanted to read, but I didn't know. But now I know a little bit. It was so much fun. So first day before the Navre, he would come and he would give us this calendar, and then everybody will bid him goodbye and say Happy New Year to him also in Kashmiri. And so that was like a big deal for us. So coming back to this, who recognizes this? Anybody? You've seen this calendar, right? I'm just giving you again a brief. See, we learned about this. See, everything me or other instructors, they teach in the class, it has a relation. Every month we talk about something, so we are relating to something that we started as a storytelling. See, this calendar, in Hindi we call it Chaitra, in Kashmiri we call it Chitra, and in Georgian, like in English, we say March and April. So we have all learned this now. Isn't it amazing? So now we know. Now if somebody talks about Kashmiri calendar, I think we know. We can figure out what is that. Similarly, like here, what is Krishna Paksh or Shukla Paksh, or what we call it in Kashmiri, Gatpach or Zunpach. So we learned about it. Now these things are very important. So you guys, you're young, so you should keep reading this, so you remember always. So very important, very important. Unlike me, when I was little of your age, I would just fight myself, why I don't know the calendar, why would anybody not teach me? Right? But now everybody teaches kids also this calendar. It's very important. So coming back to Navre, now another interesting fact, as you might know, see, this is the map of India, right? You guys know map of India. We have different, so many states, like in United States of America, we have 50 states in United States, right? So similarly, India has around 29, 20, 28, 29 states. So Navre is celebrated as a New Year's Day in Kashmir, but in other states also, they also celebrate the same day as the beginning of New Year. Like in Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka, they call it Ugadi. You may have your friends in school or in your neighborhood, so you can see, you can relate to it. You can see that, okay, they are also celebrating New Year. So it is not something that, okay, if you tell somebody, okay, today is our New Year, so they shouldn't be wondering why. You should be able to tell them. It's it's in India, like it's in different states also, they celebrate similar things. So in Andhra and in Karnataka, they call it Ugadi. Okay. And in Maharashtra and Goa, they call it Guri Padwa. So you might see on the news or TV, or any, on an internet, or from your friends who live around you in the neighborhood. So
Ara,
many people celebrate this day
Ara,
as New Year's.
let's sit here.
Okay.
And I can ask Abhaya also to see this program. It's about our New Year tomorrow.
Somebody needs to be on mute, or are you asking a question? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think somebody's unmuted, which is fine if you're asking something.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we understand. So Navre is a word that Kashmiri Pandits use for New Year's, but we also relate across India, we also relate it how other cultures celebrate as a New Year. Okay. So isn't it interesting fact? Give me a thumbs up quickly. Yeah, nice. Good. Any questions so far? Anything you want to ask? No? But I'm going to ask you questions then later. Okay, great. All right. Moving on. Now, who remembers this? Okay, one by one you can unmute and you can tell me where did you see this? What was this about?
This was about the 9 forms of Parvati, I think.
Absolutely. Absolutely. See, this was in one of our storytellings when we were learning about Shiva and Parvati, right? So why we are again doing this? Why I'm again talking about the 9 forms of Durga or Parvati? That's because so the first day of New Year's, like Navre, is also called Navaratri or Vasant Navaratri. So it is the celebration that starts on this day and goes up to 9 days to celebrate all these 9 goddesses. So it isn't interesting. So we learned about Parvati. Now we also learned about that when we are celebrating all those 9 goddesses, you know. So it is a grand celebration in northern part of India and overall everywhere in India. But when we say northern part, we talk about the north side of India, like this part here. Okay. So they celebrated for 9 days. It's a grand festival. You know, it is basically when we say onset of New Year. See, it's a new year. It's onset of spring. It is a new beginning. So we want to do it right. We want to do good things. Okay. We want to have good health, prosperity, everything. So it's a new beginning for us. So that's what this Navdurga celebration tells us. People do fasting, which has a lot of scientific value. Also, people do fasting. They restrict themselves from eating certain things, for good health, so that they begin this new year with good blessings from the God, and taking care of their health, taking care of their body. Okay. So now today we are talking about one important aspect that Kashmiri Pandits do, which is basically Thal Barun, which is basically done one day before the Navre, which is Thal Barun. So this was the activity that I wanted to do with you guys. And let me just go ahead with this. Okay. This is a picture of a typical thal, and not necessarily everything has to be same, but majority of the things that we will do should be similar to what we can see in this picture. Now if you can give me a thumbs up or raise hands if you have any items brought together. Wonderful. Okay, I see some good thals there. Okay, do you have the items ready with you? Do you have? Okay. Okay, if you have to collect something, I will give you a minute. Oh, wonderful, I can see it. Very nice, very nice. Okay, let me show mine too. Can you see it? Here it is. Wonderful. So it is, I will tell you again one story, my own story behind it. So it is such a wonderful day when my mom, she used to tell us, okay, we have to do this thal bharun, and it is done one day before the Navre. So me and my sister, we used to bring the thali, and we used to put all the ingredients there. And then my mom, she used to put it on the bedside and on our bedside. You know why? I would insist, no, just put it on my bedside, because I wanted to be the first person to wake up and to look into it and then take the thal to everyone. So it was so interesting. And then my dad would give me some, 1 rupee. That was that time we used to give some reward for it. So she would say, okay, I would keep it in the kitchen or somewhere. I would say, no, just keep it on my bedside. I would wake up early in the morning before everyone. I would look into the thal and take it to every member in my family. So I was so excited always to do it. I was the first person to do this every time. So now I will tell you. Okay, we'll go one by one. What are the ingredients? If you have already assembled everything in the thal, it's very good. If not, you can keep an empty thal in front of you. And then if you have ingredients on the side, we can put them one by one. It's totally up to you how you want to do it. So, okay, one thing to start with, what we keep in the thal is curd or yogurt. And what we call it Kashmiri, zamudad. Who likes zamudad? Everybody? Yeah, me too. I love it. Wonderful. And then we keep some salt in it, which is noon. Right? Do we have it? Absolutely. Perfect. Okay. And some money or a coin or dollar or something, whatever is provided by your parents. Excellent. Very good. And then we have sugar, like madrer. Yes, we have it. Very nice. And then a small mirror. If you have it, you don't, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine. But if you have it, that's fine too. Okay. And we call it urn. What do you call it, Kashmiri? Urn. Yes.
Oh no.
Very good. And then this was the calendar, the Kashmiri Jantri. If you have it, that's nice. If not, you can keep a deity photo. Oh, very nice. I see Hanumanji, Sri Krishna, Jantri. Very nice. Excellent, guys. I see Ganesha. Very good. Perfect. That's wonderful. And then we can keep a pen. So I always used to keep my my from my pencil box, I used to keep my 2 or 3 pencils, which I would then keep them safe, and I would use them for my exams. I would just love that. I would just keep 3 pencils always there, and me and my sister, and then I would safely, keep them separately in a stash and use them for my when I had my exams. So I would think, okay, if God is giving blessings in those pencils, and I would do best. Somebody asking a question? If not, okay. And flower or posh, this is basically, again, this is like an ensemble of things, and there's a picture of God. So flower is basically our respect to God. That's nice. Somebody made a beautiful flower art. Oh, nice. Ameya, right?
I didn't make it. It's just something for wrapping presents.
Oh, that's nice. That's fine too. That's fine too. It's pretty. Oh, I see a pretty flower. Very good. So because again, this is when we say onset of, okay, I see a thali with some yellow flowers. Oh, beautiful. Wow. So we always have, in our households or in our homes, we always had marigolds in Kashmir or some other type of flowers. So so we would always keep some flowers there. It was a representation of, again, the spring, when we say. Okay, my screen is not moving. Got it. Rice, some rice is there. Tomul, some rice. Do we have rice? Okay, perfect. And some, bread or roti. Normally it would always be roti, but if you have bread, a slice also, that will do. If you don't, okay, you can keep a roti. That's fine. Perfect, perfect. And then again, my screen has some issues. Got it. Some dry fruit, or like a doon or a badam, something. Okay, I can see some badam or some akhroat in some. Oh yeah, perfect. Yes, I got it, guys. Very nice. Very nice. And some people also used to keep saffron because that was largely available in Kashmir. But if we don't have it, that is fine too. That is totally fine. And that's all. So that is my whole thali. Now, if you can see my screen, I think I'm missing something in the screen. Can somebody tell me? I'm missing something? Yes, go ahead. Please unmute.
You're missing the saffron. Saffron.
No, I have the saffron here. But in this
Oh.
whole picture and all the naming I have done, I am missing something.
Thread. The thread.
The thread.
Yes, thread. And one more thing. Can you see it? I want to see how sharp you guys are. Come on. Take a look. I'm missing something, seriously.
The rice. I mean the seeds over there.
No.
Down there. There's flour.
No.
This.
I have missed to mark something.
I think there's this black thing above the mirror.
No, let me tell you, I forgot to mark the thali. If I don't have the thali, where do I put the things? Right? Isn't that funny? I marked everything, but where's my thali? There's no thali. Okay, so basically, we should have a thali or a tray, not a tray, but a thali, most particularly, to keep all these things in. So now again, so this is you have to use it one day before Navratri, that is on Monday. You keep it on in your kitchen counter or wherever your parents say, or on your bedside, and just cover it with some cloth. And whosoever wants to wake up first in the morning, take the cover off, look into it, and then take it around to your family members. The next time we talk again, you have to tell me who did that for their family. Okay? But we do it today, we are learning about it, but we do it actually on Monday. Keep it on Monday night, and Tuesday morning we do that activity. Okay? Okay? You guys follow? Any questions? Because Tuesday is our first day of Navratra or Navre. So we do it on Monday night. Okay. So we kept the ingredients today together, but we put it on, like I said, kitchen counter or wherever you want to put it, cover it Monday night, and Tuesday morning, first thing in the morning, you should, you should see in the thali. Usko कहते हैं कश्मीरी में buthvuchun. We call it buthvuchun. So we see what is all in the thali. We fold our hands and we ask blessings from the God, and then we take it to all the family members so they can also do the same thing. Okay. And so now let's see why we have all these things in the thali. What is the significance? Let's learn a little bit about it. So why we keep rice? Why we keep rice? Because so in Kashmiri families, we eat a lot of rice. So it's like a staple food for us. Okay. So that's why we keep the rice. It guarantees abundance, means we are asking God that okay, rice is our main ingredient, main staple food. So for the whole year, God, please keep us abundant with this rice, so that we never face any kind of scarcity or poverty or something like that. Okay. Then walnuts or any dry fruit that we keep, that is to ensure regeneration and stability. And then money and ornaments is basically for prosperity. And a pen, or some people also used to keep the ink pot, is for education or wisdom or knowledge that we all need, right? And yogurt or curd is for fullness and stability. And mirror, some people who has mirror can keep mirror. Basically it says that when we first thing in the morning, when we look into the mirror, if there is any type of negative energy around us or in the house, or any evil influences, they all just go away. And salt and sugar, again, it's for good health. So everything in the thali, what we are trying to do here is we are trying to ask our gods, ask deity that okay, these are my basic requirements for this year. So please bless us with everything that is in there, and so that this new year, is full of happiness and prosperity for us. So that is the significance. It's an offering. And then what happens on the Navre on Tuesday, your mom or your parents, they will make the tahar with the rice that is in the thali. We make the tahar, and we all love tahar, don't we? Right? Who loves tahar? Yes, I love tahar too. Yes, we all love tahar. So it's such a nice thing to do, right? Any questions so far? No questions? We're doing good. Thumbs up, we're doing good. Perfect. Okay. And now again, I'm bringing some trivia. I think last time we did some trivia. Now, if you remember from last time's story, do you remember the Shiva temple in Kashmir? Can anybody tell me
Yep.
which one is that? What's the name?
I forgot that.
That's okay. Yes.
Shankaracharya.
Yes, very good. Yes. So, what are we bringing this time? Let us see. Ah, little birdies. So, do you guys know about migrating birds? No? Okay. So basically, this is just like the birds who live live in colder places at the time of very extreme colds in winters. Even in America, it's like globally it happens that the birds they fly towards more warmer regions, and then the winter goes away. When the spring onset of spring, they come back. You know, so this is also very personal to me. I tell you why. Because in Kashmir, when I was a little girl, we had our winter exams in December, the yearly exams for our school. And then after the exams were over, we used to go for a winter vacation. Like in America, we celebrate summer vacation, right? Summer vacation is near now. So in Kashmir, we used to have a winter vacation in December and January and till Feb or something. So we used to go to another place which is called Jammu, which is warmer than Kashmir, which you guys might not know, which is fine. So we had this birds in my house in our living room. They had, you can see the left picture. This is how they built their nests. They get a wet mud and some straws, and they build the nests. So we had couple nests in our living room. They had built the nest in the living room. And then when we used to go to Jammu, we used to just close the house windows. The birds would fly away too. And when I would come back, and as soon as I would open the window, you won't believe, the birds would be outside, just on the electric wires. You've seen the electric wires going between the poles. So they would be sitting there, and as soon as we open the windows, we'll come back around Shivratri, like in Feb or something, and then they would come back in quickly. And then they had their nests, and then they lay their eggs. Have you guys seen like robins also in America, like the robins birds? Yeah, so it's the same way. So this little birdie is called khatij. We call it khatij. It's a migrating bird of Kashmir. So they used to be waiting there as if they knew that we are coming, and as if they knew that we are going to open the windows, and they would come in, and then they will just settle in their nest and lay their eggs. And again, it was a cycle. Every winter they would just go away, and as soon as the spring comes, they would just come back. It was so nice.
My grandparents live in Jammu.
Oh, they do? Oh, that is very nice. So they can tell you that Jammu is much warmer than Kashmir. Yes.
Doesn't even snow there.
Oh, okay.
Even my grandparents live in Jammu.
Oh, that is wonderful. That is very nice. Do you guys visit them sometimes? Do you guys visit India? Yeah, that is
I
nice.
mean, I think my grandparents also live in Jammu, but I'm not sure if I have visited them, but a
Okay.
very, very long time ago, and I was really hoping I could visit them this year, but turns out because of COVID, I can't.
Oh, it's terrible. I know. My parents also are in Jammu, and I visit them, or they come here and they visit us. So yeah, it's very terrible time right now to travel, but hopefully it will be better. So this year, when you do this thali, okay, when you do this thal bharun tomorrow, just remember to just fold hands and ask God that, okay, this year, God, last year was very tough. This year we want to be good for everyone, good health for everyone, and just take away this COVID from us, right? That's what we do this year. Okay, Now another thing. Okay, this is can you see the fort in my picture? Let me just move this thing here. See this little fort here, not little, but this fort here in the picture. Can you see
Yeah.
it? Okay. So this is a Hari Parvat. Hari Parvat fort in Srinagar, Kashmir. Okay. This is also a very sacred place for Kashmiri Pandits, because this is where we believe, where my parents, when I was very small, I went there, I think one time, I believe. And this is where we believe that Mata Parvati resides, or Shakti Mata, or what we call in Kashmiri, Sharika Bhavani. So she resides. It's a very, very sacred place. So this you should know. You guys should really know about this. This is a huge fort, which was basically in Kashmir. There were, Afghan kings. They had ruled there. So that they built the fort. But it is said that Mata Parvati, she just, she also was, she's a part of Shambhu. Like we have learned in that story, right? She's a part of Shiva. So she self-created herself there in the form of a big shila, or a rock. And the Kashmiri Pandits believe that she came there to help them. And there are so many legends and so many stories about it, around it. So I'll just give you again some picture. Yeah, see, this is a temple inside of this fort. And another good trivia for you to learn, how many number of steps you have to take to reach this fort. It's 108. 108 steps you have to take to reach this temple. Isn't it amazing? Do you guys want to go there someday?
Yeah, but that's a lot.
That's a lot, yeah, but it's fine. You're young, right?
Guys, get your hiking bags out. We'll have to go hiking.
Yeah.
It's like hiking up a mountain. Yeah.
It's hiking also. And then you are in presence of the goddess Parvati. You'll be amazed to see how beautiful it is. I've been there just once when I was very little. See, this is the inside. This is the Shila, the rock that I was talking about. It appeared that it says that Mata Parvati, like whosoever, like a saint, found it. And they found this is a chakra, the yantra. You might not know a lot about it, but you can ask your parents or your grandparents. This is a lot of value to the Hindu culture, this yantra, this design, the geometric design. So they say that this kind of a geometric design appeared automatically, like one fine day on this shila, and it is said that that was the presence of Ma Shakti herself. So it is a lot of value, lot of sacredness to this Hari Parvat. Okay, so you guys should remember it. Moving on. Okay, so this is Ma Sharika. See, again, like I said, see, the image or depiction of, or a picture of a god, it is, we don't know what is right or what is wrong, but it is from a person's perspective. Like if I say that, okay, I have seen Sharika, yeah, I think that Ma Sharika is, she is like this, so I will paint a picture of her. So this is, but we know that she's a form of Durga. We have learned about it, right? We have learned about Mata Durga, right? We have learned about Parvati. So she is also, she, this dress up, you can see it depicts basically the Kashmiri dress up, but basically she is a depiction. She's a form of goddess Durga. Okay, they say that she has 18 hands. So, and she also sits on the lion like goddess Durga. Okay, so this is how it is. So you have seen this picture in one of our stories, right? In Shiva Parvati. So this is our own goddess Durga in Kashmir, Ma Sharika. So who remembers this? Anybody who remembers this?
Tia, unmute yourself.
I do.
Yes.
I do.
Who is she? Very good. She is
Ma Parvati.
Ma Parvati. So there are few stories around that. So this is Ma Parvati, and this is when she becomes Durga, and we are celebrating her all the 9 forms, beginning the first day of Navratra, right? So this is all related. This is every story has a background, has a relation to the other thing. Okay, so I will tell you a brief story before we end this session about Ma Parvati, or about Hari Parvat. When we say Ma Sharika, she actually stays there. So it is said that there were demons like Chandmund. They were really causing a lot of issues to the Kashmiri Pandits or all the villagers who were living in Kashmir, and they all prayed to Ma Parvati. They all prayed to Ma Parvati, and they said, Ma Parvati, I mean, you are in the form of a mother, but now you have to come in the form of a Durga, because we want you to help us to get rid of these demons. So what Ma Parvati did, she picked up a small pebble and she threw it towards the demons, and that small pebble that grows so big, that they crushed the pebble, it became so big like a rock and slowly into a mountain, and it crushed these two Chandamund, these demons. So that is also one of the stories that they say why we have this fort. Let's go back to that picture quickly. See, you see this mountain here, where the on top of the mountain is the fort. So that's a story. That's a legend behind it. And this fort was also built by some kings, some Afghan kings in Kashmir, who were rulers that time. But then this small temple was built, I think around 1800s, after the Afghan, after the, there were a lot of wars going on. It was built after that. But then this Shila was found there. And the Kashmiri Pandits believe a lot in Ma Sharika, on goddess Durga or Ma Parvati, and they worship this place. Okay, any questions? Guys, any questions? No questions? Yeah, go ahead here.
What does Pandit mean?
What is, sorry?
Pandit. You keep calling us Kashmiri Pandit. I don't know what Pandit means.
Oh, so Pandit basically, I think it is because you're Hindu, So when we are Hindu, so they are, it's like a common surname for Hindus who are in Kashmir. So Kashmiri Pandits, because see, Kashmir, they had predominantly 2 different cultures: the Muslims and the Hindu, the Kashmiri Hindus. So one were the Kashmiri Muslims, another was Kashmiri Hindus. So the Kashmiri Hindus predominantly, they are commonly they are called Kashmiri Pandits. But there are many other, there may be other stories behind it, but this is a generalized thing that I can tell you. The Pandit basically is related to the religion that we follow. That's Hinduism. It's a very good question, very smart question. Any other things? Any other questions? So now who can tell me who is going to wake up first in their house on Tuesday morning and promise me that you are going to do this Bhuth Vuchun and then take it to all your parents? Who can do that? This is a challenge, I would say. So who wakes up early? Oh, nice, very good, guys.
I do because my sister wakes me up.
That's nice. Yeah, I do because my kids wake me up. But yes, waking up early. But that day, see, you have to think that if you will be the first person to do it, it will be like Everybody will praise you. It will be so nice for you to look into the dal first and then take it to everyone. And then you'll feel excitement. I know it may be a little harder, not harder, but if you wake up on a little earlier than your usual time, you will enjoy it. So me and my sister, we used to compete. I would say, no, I would wake up first. And she would say, no, she would wake up first. But then I will make it a point that, okay, my mom would keep it on the bedside. I would just keep an alarm and wake up and then take it to all my family. It was so much fun. Can you guys
I'm
do
not sure if I can. I'm not sure if I can wake up the earliest because my dad wakes up very, very, very early. He wakes up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, okay. But
So
then
I'm not really sure.
you
But
can,
I think he always waits for me for the dal.
ah, that's nice. Yeah, yeah, that is very nice. So you can tell your dad, okay, you wake up on your time. I will also wake up a little early than my usual time, but I'll be the person to take this dal and show it around to everyone, right? And I'm telling you, seriously, you like it. And it's an activity for you if you guys want to do it. Okay? Any more questions?
Hi, my brother was wondering if you know what the English name for the bird is.
Yeah, it is a beel. A-B double E-L. You can, yeah, you can just note it down and you can look online, but it is a beel. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Let me go back. I don't think I mentioned the English name. No, but it is a beel. Yeah. Any more questions? Are we good? Okay. So I think we are almost, we still have 10 minutes. If you want to continue, we can. If you want to talk about anything, we have time. If you don't, then we can sign off. What do you want to do? Anything interesting in anybody's life you can tell me? I want to hear anything interesting. Yes, Samia, go ahead.
Wait, can you leave now? Uh, my my grandparents live in Srinagar, so
Oh, do they? Oh, that's nice. And then, you know, they may have a very good information on this if you want to talk to them and you can tell them what you learned. They might add few more details to it because they live there. They might know how this, they would be visiting Hari Parvat or not. I mean, you can check with them, but
but
they
they
might,
talk Kashmiri. But they talk Kashmiri.
that's so you don't understand much of the Kashmiri.
Yeah, I don't understand much of the Kashmiri.
that's
They say.
that's fine. You can ask your parents, you can tell them what questions you have and maybe they can ask them and check for you and they can tell you, right? Yep. Go ahead, Tia.
I know that Shankriyaka has 243 steps, and the Hari Parvat temple has 108. So actually, Shriyanka has way more
Yes,
steps.
yes, absolutely. So it is very good. You should remember these facts. Like I said, that is our native place. So you should remember these trivias. Shankaracharya is Shiva's temple, and Hari Parvat is Ma Shakti's temple. Yes. And and again, amazing fact about this fort is this fort has one side there is this Sharika temple, and on other side there is the Muslim mosque also there, and on other side there is Gurudwara for the Sikhs. So within the fort, it has different worshipping places for different cultures. It's very amazing. Amia, you wanted to ask something, I believe. Amaya, sorry.
I wake up at 1 in the morning.
Oh my gosh, that's still midnight. No, we have to wake up like on our like early morning is like 7 or 7:30. It's a good time for kids, and that's
My dad wakes me up at 7:30 in the morning to go to school.
yes, yes, yes. It's very good. Yes, that's a good time. Early, you should always wake up early, and waking up early is a very good habit.
Why?
Why? Because you get a lot of time to do a lot of things. If you wake up late, you feel more tired and lazy. Then you have to do your breakfast, and if you're late, then it's almost your lunchtime. When will you do your breakfast, right? So you you skip a meal.
Once
So,
that happened to me because I was so tired last night.
oh, that's fine. Sometimes you can sleep in late. That is okay. Okay, I think then we can end this session, and I would say Navre Mubarak to all of you beautiful people out there. You're such wonderful kids, and a very happy new year. And praying and worshiping God is a very important part of life, and believing is very important part of life. So you learn about it, you read about them, and you talk to your parents, your friends about it. So it's a good information that you will use in your lives. Okay. So on that note, I would say bye bye, ciao ciao. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.